Okay, so hi everyone. My name is Emily Ballings. I use they, she pronouns. Um, my story with loneliness kind of started like in preschool, maybe kindergarten, but probably preschool. When like I would go to preschool and like see everybody like running around and playing with each other and doing all the stuff. And I would only have memories of all the academic stuff in preschool. I didn't really have friends like starting in preschool, and like I would make friends like once I got to kindergarten, like anybody else does. But then it's like and we would only like be friends like at school, and then out of school I was mostly by myself, and um it wasn't until I got a little bit older that I really got closer to my friends because we were able to, like in middle school, I still had a really close friend from elementary school, and like I credit them for making me not as lonely, which is really great because when I was in middle school, I'm sorry, my allergies are bad. When I was in middle school, my IEP team, if you don't know what that is, an IEP is an individual education program. My IEP team, unbeknownst to my mom and dad, decided to take me out of class like 15 to 20 minutes earlier so I could eat lunch alone so I wouldn't get distracted by the other kids, which by the way is a load of crap because they basically were saying that I couldn't do two things at once. But it was really isolating. So I'm still really upset by that, even though it's been 20 years. But anyway, like, it's very upsetting that, like, I was with my peers, and I was allowed to, like, speak to them. I'm gonna put my glasses over here. I was allowed to, like, speak to them, but it was still not, like, that full experience of like eating lunch with your friends, and like I had that in elementary school, so I just kind of expected to have that in junior high, but I didn't because I don't know, they just didn't want me to get distracted for some reason, and that like really upset me. And like the fact that um, adults in charge of I don't know if it's the right words, but like, adults in charge of special ed think that kids with disabilities are different than non-disabled kids. Wrong. I don't know where they get, like, it's fine that they like go to school for special ed, but like actually having field experience with kids with disabilities, they need to like relearn that because they got it all wrong. And that really stemmed from my loneliness. Another part of the thing that stemmed from my loneliness is like I didn't really play on the playground when I was in elementary school. I did a little bit, but it was kind of difficult for the parents and my teachers. If you guys don't know what a para is, that's a paraprofessional or paraeducator for the new modern words, but so most of the time I read, and then I continued to read, and then now that's why I have a whole bunch of like books in my bedroom, but anyways, like now it's kind of, people don't think about how about how much being in a wheelchair like affects you socially. They just think, oh, it must be fun to be in a wheelchair because you don't have to walk. And it's like, no, it actually sucks because you're isolated and you have friends, but you really don't because they just, like, you don't spend as much time with them as you would if you didn't have all these, like, disabilities and issues and need to rely on your family or other ways to get around, you know what I mean? Like, people really don't, and like, I think that's basically why I've turned to the internet for my friends, which is why I'm so grateful that I created a Twitter account when I was younger, but, so that's.
Yeah, you'd mentioned that, you know, some Twitter and TikTok and things are ways that you can connect with people.
Yeah.
Yeah, so even though sometimes the phones are awful for socialization, perhaps in some ways, you know, it's helpful for you.
Yeah. But it just like really, it gets like frustrating. One thing that I want to bring up again is I was really thankful for that, you know, friend I had in middle school because like she was a really good friend because there were like some other people that I've been friends with that were not like that much good friends with to me because there were times where like these people would hang out and not include me, and like it still affects me to this day at my current age, and I'm not 12 anymore, so I shouldn't care, but I still do.
Emily, what do you think that these folks should know about not othering people and what people can do to help other folks who may be in your position?
Like, I think you should like basically just get to know like your older adults or your senior citizen or your younger disabled person or whatever population you work with. Like, get to know them as a person and not their diagnosis first. Because the only reason I say that is because I had a academic advisor. My academic advisor in college took one look at my file, took one look at me, and like shook his head because totally different. Anyway.
Totally different what you had?
Oh, I was like the sick file and me, like we're totally different. Like they seem like totally different people.
What are some things that you want folks to know about just approaching people who are different, who are different from them, for example?
You could just approach somebody that doesn't look like you, doesn't sound like you, and just, if you have the right accommodation, like, just get to know them as if they were, you know, like, a person that did seem like you. Thankfully for me, I found a community of people on the internet that shared the same interests as me, and I just have like a lot of friends from that. Yeah.
And does anyone have any questions for Emily? Yes, right here. Your microphone is coming.
Let me put my glasses back on. Yeah. I have really bad allergies. I'll wipe my eyes first. Thank you. Yeah.
Hi, Emily.
I'll put it back on.
Thank you for your courage. I actually don't have a question. I just want to tell you that I think everyone in this room wants you to sit at their table for lunch.
That's pretty special. How are you gonna do that? Are we gonna like put names in hats? And what, I don't know. Maybe we can guess Emily's favorite color, which you would never know because we got a lot of rainbow stuff going on here. We could ask, I don't know, your favorite dessert. I don't know. We could figure something out. What do you think? Why is it important for you to advocate? You speak a lot. You speak for younger kids. Tell me why it's important to do that.
It's important for me to speak for the younger generation because I didn't really have, and I know this is a cliche and all the like books and things on the internet say to not do this, but whatever. Say that you shouldn't go into this field just because you didn't have this as a for younger you, but I literally went into this field because there weren't that many people that were like me around me growing up, so I wanted to be that for other people. So
Kristen,
Beautiful.
we have
Yes.
some questions.
Yes, please.
Hi, Nora from AARP Connecticut. So I just was curious if you have, you mentioned, people need to go back to school and relearn how to actually interact in the special ed community.
Yeah.
And have you seen improvement over time? And if so, maybe some examples or why you think improvement is there or not?
Well, the only and now this is probably self-serving, but the only example that I can give you right now is that a lot of the people at my job, the Connecticut Parent Advocacy Center, a lot of them are really good at interacting with kids and youth with disabilities because the majority of them are moms of kids with disabilities. So take that for what it's worth. I don't know.
We have another question over there.
Hi, Emily, thank you for coming. I have a question because I had a family member who was disabled and by stroke, and all the reading I did was, part of the recovery was very important, was physical touch. And a lot of times that's eliminated, and it can be very cultural, because I had a family member say, well, I can't do that. They didn't come from a family. How do you feel about physical touching, like people coming up and hugging you and touching you? Do you really appreciate that, or are you more distant about that? Because it can be very personal. So.
I mean, it really depends on who you are. I mean, if you're like my friend, family, coworker, I don't care. But I'm gonna be honest, just to break up the seriousness of what we're talking about here, is I met my celebrity crush from when I was a kid a month ago, and I didn't really mind. Yeah.
Who was it? You have to tell us who it was. Jesse McCartney. Nice. I want to see that picture. That's amazing. That's amazing.
So yeah, but seriously, I don't really mind that.
Ladies and gentlemen, I just want to give out a round of applause for Emily Ball. Thank you.